Hello, my name is Marshall Barris. I'm a realtor with my home group and the CEO and team leader of the House Hunters team here at my home group. We're also starting a new podcast called Inside the Deal AZ, and looking forward to talking to some people. And you are
My name's Aaron Pierson.
Aaron Pierson. We met about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something like that, a week
Yep.
ago.
Yep, at a special teams event. Yeah.
Special teams event, and so my home group has some different things that they're going to be doing with teams, which is good for growing the market here and taking more market share here in Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
you specialize in
So I'm like a fractional CMO, Chief Marketing Officer
okay,
for historically I've worked with a lot of different types of real estate brokerages, national
yeah,
companies, but as well as technology companies. So, what I specialize in, I'm just kind of like a jack of all trades when it comes to marketing automation, AI, and strategic growth.
okay.
hmm
Marketing automation. What's that? Help break that down a little bit for
Well,
me so I can understand.
the simplest way to put it is if something happens, then something else happens. If this, then that.
Right. So
So
trigger events,
if a
right?
customer goes down this path, then we serve them this information. If they go down path B, we serve them other information. So for me, what I'm always trying to do is I'm trying to remain communicating with a customer or a customer profile, whatever it is, whether it's an agent or a consumer, wherever they are. Like, how can we keep that experience as humanized as possible? And you don't do it by putting everybody into the same box. That is a success that you're really setting yourself up for failure. So the idea is, if we understand how they behave, what excites them, what they're interested in, then we serve them content or take them down a path or a journey that encourages and supports what they want.
Okay, all right. So basically, tailoring the marketing to them,
Correct.
what they like and the things that they're looking for, right?
Yep, based on their behavior.
Okay. What kind of tools are you using?
I've been building tools for other companies for almost 20 years, and I just kind of got to the point where I was like, I'm going to start building my own tools.
Yeah, and
So,
that's kind of what excited me the most when you were talking about some of the things that you were doing with AI.
yeah, yeah. So I've been building on a platform called MagnetiqAI, which is essentially, some of you are familiar with High Level. It's a very predominant CRM,
Hmm.
but it's like a blank slate, right? So you get High Level. It's kind of like, you build a new house, you got a frame. Okay, here's the frame. Well, now we get to choose how we decorate, the drywall, the tile, all the subtleties on how we want to refine this house. Same way with the technology that I've been building. So, how do we add customized funnels for recruiting, customized funnels for the real estate industry? How do we add AI tools or AI agents that can help set appointments, maybe manage and mitigate support, broker support, or just general support questions in general?
Yeah.
And that's all trained through knowledge. So there's a marketing automation tool component, and then there's an AI component. And yeah, this is literally the system that we use here at MHG,
Hmm.
alongside a handful of other systems. My system is specifically focused on growth and recruiting, whereas other systems that we have that's proprietary to Fathom, which is our big company,
Right.
they have proprietary systems that's very transactional. It's designed to help the agent, submit transactions. So
Right.
there's a few different, tools that you need to add to your stack. If you're a team leader or you're a leader in the space, you can't just rely on your transaction coordination system to do your recruiting,
Right.
right?
Right.
The,
Right.
the funnels aren't the same, the journeys aren't the same, you're not solving the same problems. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been building, and that company's called Magnetic AI.
Magnetic AI. So I love that. We'll drop more information below so people can look at that. So what are some of the AI tools that you believe that we should have in on our phone or we should be utilizing in the real estate market? What's the
I
you would say the
mean,
ground level? What do we need to have?
Listen, on a basic level, just ChatGPT, like just ChatGPT's OpenAI
Yeah.
is so powerful, and the people who I know, especially in the real estate space, they're still underutilizing it. Like they don't have a full grasp of how powerful that tool is. Okay, and if you think back to like the MLS. there was a time, and listen, I'm 40 years old. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
remember this time. I was maybe I was born at this time, but there was a time where the MLS was a book.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then there was a time where they said, "Hey, we have this now internet digital version. Let's put this directory here on the internet, and then now we can access it with our phones." And we continue to evolve. AI is simply another tool that you get to use. And here's the thing: I don't think AI is replacing any agent's job,
Yeah.
but I do think the agents that are using AI are going to replace the agents that are not using AI.
Yeah.
That I believe is going to happen, just simply because of the fact that you have the ability to 4x your own output in comparison to the agent who doesn't have that extremely powerful tool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So OpenAI, ChatGPT, just out of the box. There's a free version. The thing that I tell people to do is like the next time you go to Google and you
Yeah.
type in something into a Google search, don't.
Yeah.
Go to OpenAI and ask the same thing you were just about to ask Google in your Chrome browser, the same question, and see what comes of it. Try that for 24 hours and tell me you're not hooked.
Right. 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 I get it. Yeah. I believe that 100%. I started off with ChatGPT, and then I kind of got sucked into Grok a little bit because I'm a huge Twitter fan.
Which I like as well.
Yeah,
I think that there's, and
X.
we can talk about that too,
Yeah,
because I think that there's a world where that model is really beneficial.
yeah.
But when it comes to like a new agent who's like, I've never used
No, I
AI,
agree.
I'm like, just go right into OpenAI,
I
just create
agree.
an account. It's free, and the tools that they have there, they're a little different than what Grok is. But I'm using Grok for a very specific use case
Oh,
as
so you are
well.
using? Because
Oh, absolutely.
I got into Grok. I got into Perplexity. Have you worked with Perplexity
I
yet?
haven't tried that. There's a lot of
Yeah,
LLMs out there that I
yeah.
just haven't explored.
And then Claude, and then I went full circle all the way back to ChatGPT. I think that's one of the. It's just very user friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to it quite a bit. Sometimes I catch myself saying, "Hey, is this funny or not?" You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And they'll respond. They'll say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? I don't worry, you're not going to offend me,
yeah.
but absolutely, this is funny. I think I am trained in humor, so it's pretty good. I think a lot of times I find myself really because I'm on the pro version, and what you can do is you can go ahead and train it to learn certain things about you so that it responds a little bit more the way you would want to, or a little bit easier for
Yep.
someone to understand, or more how I speak, or knowing that I'm from Arizona and it's 115 degrees,
Yep.
outside today. So,
So how long have you been on the pro version?
so I've been on the pro version for about 3 to 4 months, probably.
Okay, perfect. So just so for everyone listening, there's a free version. The pro version is $20 a month,
Yes,
right? And then, or I'm sorry, you're talking about the plus version is $20 a month. The pro version is two hundred
exactly. I'm
dollars a month.
sorry. It's
Yeah.
plus.
So
So I
I
can't
have a
even
plus.
imagine what the pro version is.
So I have a pro version. We can talk about the differences between the plus and the pro, and then the teams version if you want to really break it
Yeah,
down
let's
and
go ahead
talk
and go
about
into a
that.
little bit
But
of that.
what I want to mention is on the plus version, since it is learning you as you
Yes.
continue to work it, it's starting to learn who are you. I want you to try this prompt. I want you to ask it the next time you're using it. Say,
Yeah.
everything that you've learned about me from the moment I've created an account, tell me what I can do to improve in business and in life.
Ah,
It's going to look at all the history of every chat that you've ever had, and it's going to be brutally honest with you. Ask it, say, I want radical candor. Be brutally honest. You're
yeah.
not going to hurt my feelings. I want to know how can I improve as a business professional, and how can I improve my life personally. And you'll be shocked
Yeah.
at what it says.
That's
Because it has been learning you, and you can say like, you're going to learn that AI has an opinion,
Oh, it does.
and
It
it's
absolutely
crazy.
does. And I love that you said radical candor, because sometimes I'll say, "Hey, I'm very blunt. I'm a high D on the disc,
Sure.
and I'm very direct." So it gives me a lot of direct responses, but it will option me to say, "Hey, would you like me to make this a little softer so that you can send it out to the team, or so that you can send it out to your clients,
Yeah.
or whatever aspect I might be, works or fits appropriately for what I'm asking it to do."
Yeah.
But that's really good question. So one more time, just ask it, what are the things that I can do to improve in all areas of my life, right?
Based on the historic, you got to say, based on everything you know about me from the moment I created my account with you with OpenAI,
Yeah.
I would like to know, just tell me about my character. What can I do to improve in business? What can I do to improve in life? And it will shock you how accurate it is. And you can even have it reference. You can say, tell me everything you know about me
Yeah.
thus far. I mean, it remembers chats that I had about my son, my kids. And it's like, it knew, that I was a father. It knew my kids' names
Yeah.
from conversations that I had a year ago. Now, I've
Yeah.
had ChatGPT. I've been paying for it ever since they had the $20 version was available because I was sick of getting stopped by my limits. They were like,
Yeah.
okay, you've reached your ChatGPT
Yeah.
quota for the day. And I'm like, as soon as they had a $20 plan, I'm like, take my money. As soon as they had a $200 plan, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but take my money because I'm going to figure it out. So I started figuring it out. And then, and we can talk about the differences because I don't believe you need a $200 a month plan unless you're like a true geek like me.
I would love to know what are some of the things that you can do with that.
The biggest difference from the Plus to the Pro is
Because that's a huge jump from $20 to 200.
yeah, it is, and mainly because of this new function called operator. So obviously it gives you longer lines of response, so it can give you a much larger output, and it has more memory, generally speaking, where you can continue to talk to it without it kind of breaking and saying like, "Hey, you've reached a limit," right?
Yeah.
So that's one positive, but the big one is a function called operator. So what operator is you can ask it to perform tasks inside of a browser window. So I'm going to get a little technical here. Think
Okay.
of a Google Chrome browser. It's
Okay.
not Chrome, it's actually Edge because Microsoft and OpenAI are buddies, and Gemini, which is Chrome,
Okay.
and AI don't. So what you can do is you can say, I'll give you a really great example
Okay.
of a prompt that a realtor might use an operator. They might say, I would like you to go to Zillow.com, look at zip code 85032, and put together a list of all the homes that have been on market for over 6 months and haven't sold. Okay. And I want you to put the URL to these properties in this document, right? And you could give it literally a Google Drive document that has an edit permission,
Yeah.
and you say go. And what it does is it opens it. You can watch it perform. It opens up another window. It goes to Zillow.com. It types in homes for sale on 85032, and it starts searching. And then it copies and pastes and copies and pastes, and it puts that in there. So people like me, I use it for what I would call data harvesting. I'm harvesting data.
Yeah.
I write about AI and a lot of this emerging tech for Housing Wire, for Real Trends. Like I write about this. I've got a new book coming
Yeah.
out. But a lot of times when I'm looking for like press that I give to my agent, I'll say, I want you to go to entrepreneur.com. I want you to find everybody who's writing about AI. I want you to find all the authors' names and their Twitter handles, and I want you to put them in this spreadsheet. And now I've given my agent a hot list of people that I can collaborate with on future articles.
I love it. I love it.
So for $200 a month, it's a virtual assistant, but
Yeah.
it only can perform operations inside of a browser window. You can ask it to design graphics in Canva. You can ask it to build websites in WordPress. Anything that's done inside of a browser window,
Uh-huh.
it can do.
So I believe my Canva is linked to the Plus version, but it's
Mhm.
very, very basic what it can do.
Yes, and that's using text prompts to. That's essentially using a text prompt to say, hey, based on what you said, design this. With operator, you actually can see them open a new document. It's going to be much slower, actually.
Yeah.
They open a new document, they add the logo in. Like you can watch them design it in real time, and you can actually say, hey, I want to pause the operator. I'm going to take over manually. I'm going to do something in the window, and then I'm going to hit start again, and now
Yeah.
the operator continues.
That's phenomenal.
So we're getting to a point where AI isn't just giving you responses, it's actually able to perform tasks on your behalf as of right now inside of another browser window. But pretty soon, well, and we are there. I mean, you can connect it to your email and your calendar and do all that stuff through other programs like N8N, which I don't want to, that's like really advanced stuff. But we're getting there. We're
Yeah.
getting to the point.
Yeah.
And then the other version, I'll just mention just to close the loop on the different plans. You've got the free version, you've got the plus version, and then you've got the pro, which has the operator. Then you have Teams, and Teams is what I recommend. So Teams has a limit of 2 members, and it's $30 a member each. So you're spending a minimum of $60 a month. But with Teams, you get everything you get with all these other plans, but you can actually have it do tasks. So performing tasks for you is like the new thing that I wish they would have had a long time ago. So I'll give you an example of a task that a realtor might use.
Yeah.
A task might be, hey, ChatGPT, I'd like you to pull a market report on, I'll go back to 85032 every single Friday, And I want you to, from that market report, I'd like you to create a social media carousel content, right? Post. And I want you to create a 500 word blog post, and I'd like you to email it to me every Friday morning at 10 a.m. And every Friday morning at 10 a.m., you'll go to your inbox, and there will be your social media content and your blog post on the market report and that zip code every single week.
Really? Now that's available now,
Right
right?
now, for $30 a month per user, minimum of 2 users. So for $60, you're going to go and literally change your plan as soon as we're done with this.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm already sold.
I know. I can tell. I can tell. It's funny. I even talked to OpenAI. I'm like, listen, I would be the best affiliate partner for you. I'm like, you should give me an
Yeah.
affiliate link. And she's like, oh, we don't have that yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, bring it up to the mothership. I talked to them, and
Well,
I'm
if
like,
you're watching now, let us know, right?
yeah,
Let us know.
I'm always talking to OpenAI, and I'm like, hey, in the future, like, give me grace,
Yeah.
like hook me up, because I'm just one of your biggest advocates. So there's so much stuff that you can do, and I think that, like, I get it. AI is extremely overwhelming. In all the workshops that I do and all the webinars, I'm really just trying to break it down to, like, what are the simplest things that I can get people to adopt AI so that they can discover it themselves. AI is for curiosity seekers.
Absolutely.
You don't need it to solve problems all the time.
Yeah.
I want people to start to open their mind and say, well, I never thought about that. Like, I just never thought about that. So how can I leverage AI to solve other problems? It doesn't always have to be business.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the other day I was talking to one of my daughters, and I was telling her, we never had this. We never had a tool like this to help us through school or make decisions or whatever. You could be getting bullied in class and say, "Hey, how can I come up with a solution to kind of work my way out of this?"
Yeah.
Or I'm having problems in math, and the lesson was, screenshot the board, or not screenshot, take pictures of the board,
Yeah.
and then upload that with your question. Hey, this is what I'm having problems with. Help me, come up with an action plan where I can study these areas to make me a better student in this class.
Yeah.
And it's all right in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it a step further, because the way I really got obsessed with AI is it started with my health and wellness.
Yeah.
So I started running blood work. I turned 40, and I'm like, all right, I need to make some changes, whatever. I want to get fit and I want to feel better, just have more longevity, right?
Uh-huh.
So I ran some blood work, and I'm like, I don't know what this means,
Right.
and I need a doctor now to disseminate this. Now,
Exactly.
this doctor is, whatever they're recommending is subjective. Let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like, it might, they are getting incentivized to suggest all sorts of different things. So I just wanted to get an unbiased approach. So I ran my blood work, the results, through ChatGPT, and I said, summarize this for me, analyze this for me, so I can understand what this means, and what, if my goal is this, what do I have to change, right? And it started giving me a protocol and a path to achieve those goals. So then I went even further down, and I started doing the DEXA scans, where it's the full body. You're like getting your visceral fat, you're seeing how much your right arm weighs versus your left arm weighs. It's really goes into a lot of data, and I'm like, well, sure, I can look at this data myself and try to summarize this in my mind, but why not use a language learning model that can crunch those numbers really quick? It understands my goals. So I made a personalized healthcare companion. I got to the point where, to your point, I was taking pictures of menus at restaurants. What can I say for you order that fits inside of my macros? You can do that now. You can do that now.
Yeah.
I have my whole medical history. It knows that I'm prone to heartburn. It knows that I've had my gallbladder removed. It knows my diagnoses. So, like, when you give it that much information about yourself, it is able to make hyper focused recommendations for you. So I don't just use it for business. I use it for pretty much every aspect of my life. And now it's to the point where I don't even listen to podcasts anymore.
Yeah.
I just go straight to OpenAI, and I start asking it the questions that I want answered. Why read a book and spend 90% of the time reading fluff when I get the 10% of the meat? It's like, give me the meat now.
Right.
I want it now.
Right.
And then I also want to ask other questions as to how can it support my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish for my industry, right? Like, books are written open-ended. They're broad. They're broad strokes. Okay, so now how do I apply that to this? And I'm telling you, this is not a fad. This is not going away. This is
I agree. One of the things that I had is a stroke about 3 years ago, and I have to make a lot of life changes in order to get longevity, like you said. One of them is cutting out alcohol and sugars and stuff like that. and it's been difficult. So I've loaded all my health information also into ChatGPT, but I never once thought about taking a picture of a menu and saying, "What do you think I should order?" Would be, and then it'll track what you're eating all day long. So it'll be able to tell you,
As
"Hey,
long as
you've
you,
already had a heavy, lunch and breakfast. You should go with something lighter."
yep. And then obviously, if you really want to geek out, like there was a time where I wore my Whoop for about a year and a half. You know, the Whoop bands,
Yeah.
and you can integrate APIs to pull data from that and go directly into there. Like
Yeah.
you can really go
Now,
crazy with it.
Now, real quick, you mentioned APIs. Uh, for our viewing audience, what is an API?
An API is just it allows for a connection point. It allows one piece of software that's typically proprietary to connect to another piece of software that's typically proprietary.
Right.
They need to that software needs to be open to say, hey, I'm willing to collaborate with something else.
Right.
Okay,
So they can kind of talk to each other.
so they can talk to each other. Yeah, and these are you have access to these APIs inside of OpenAI or ChatGPT when you're on any of the paid plans.
So they're already doing that. Then they're already
Yes, you can do
speaking
that.
to other
You can do
programs.
that already. Yes, and there's a lot of apps that are bridging the gap because most people like myself, I'm not a coder. I don't write in multiple coding languages.
Right.
You
Right.
2 years ago you had to write Python, you had to understand C sharp or
Yeah.
C++, or there's a million different kinds of languages. At this point, I think the study that came out, and I listen to this stuff like all the time. I think it was last week about 80% of the coding that's being written right now is actually by AI. It's not by engineers. So the
Wow.
engineers are kind of in jeopardy. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have a job and that they're getting edged out in the
Right. Right.
industry. It's that the engineers now are prompting the AI, and you still need a human to prompt the AI. It's like
Yes.
there still needs to be that human interaction. So we're not at the point where we could be like, make me an app, think of all the possibilities that could go wrong and
Right.
fix those in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like humans have to figure out what the problems are, and
No, I
then
get it.
we have to lean into the technology as a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still excellent tool. I was super excited about that. Uh, One of the things that you were talking about too was a book. You got an upcoming book coming up.
Yeah. So this will be my third book.
All right.
I've written a bestseller before on Amazon, and it was mostly about branding, marketing. I wrote another book about podcasting. This was like 7 years ago when podcasting was a thing. So I mean, we launched one of the first real estate podcasts here in Arizona at my home group. It was
Yeah.
called The Daily Dose.
Yeah. The Daily Dose.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you go to episode 1, it's just me sitting there saying, "Hey guys, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to start a podcast." I think that went on for 5 or 6 years straight, on a
Right.
daily basis, and it's just like little gold nuggets. But so I've written a few books, and most recently, I just started cataloging all of the AI related stuff that I'm doing. And
Uh huh.
there's so many use cases. So I put together a book. It's called Unleash AI, and it's a strategic playbook for founders and entrepreneurs that are looking to implement AI into their business. And it has 100 use cases. So I've broken down these 100 use cases into 10 categories. So
Hmm.
categories like marketing, we have 10 use cases on how to use AI in marketing, how to
Oh,
use
okay.
it in sales, 10 different use cases on sales, 10 use cases on operations. There's a lot of categories that you need to focus on when building a business. And
Right.
it's not just write me a marketing piece for social media. Like
Right.
that's the average person gets on ChatGPT and they say, I need email copy, or I need whatever. It's marketing copy is all they
Right.
need. Or write me a mission statement or write a listing description. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Have
A
you ever
business plan.
have you ever considered using it to create a P&L in less than 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Like
Yeah.
when my CPA said, "Hey Aaron, I need a P&L from the last month," I'm like, "Okay, so here's what I did. And this didn't take very long because I've already built a GPT to do this. It has all my tax returns prior. I download my bank statements, I upload it, and I say, "Hey, based on my prior expenses, create a P&L for me." In seconds, it creates a P&L. I'll tell you some companies that are primed for disruption. One are CPAs, two are paralegals.
Yeah.
All these people, they're just following a set of rules.
Right.
And the human is following a set of rules. Now, here's the problem with that: humans make errors, humans make
Yeah.
mistakes. AI, if you say, "Hey, here are the rules, work within these parameters," it'll give you an accurate output almost every single time.
Right.
You have to remind it, "Hey, don't forget, reference these documents," or they have what's called hallucinations. Literally, AI has hallucinations. But no, like seriously, most people don't think about, "Hey, let's run my bank statement through here and
Yeah.
see if it can create a P&L for me." You'll be shocked. Use it for big data. You can export all of your contacts from your CRM, upload it to OpenAI, and say, hey, can you organize these people in sequential order based on their propensity to potentially transact again? Like, let's
Right.
assign them a lead score on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being they're hot and ready to go. Who do you think I should reach out to next? And
Yeah.
see what AI says. And then ask it, well, how did you come to that conclusion?
Yeah.
What data points did you look at from my export that had you come to that conclusion?
Yeah. I love it. Paul's my assistant. He's also one of my best friends. He lives in the Philippines, and he's already saying to me, hey, we are going to be. He's in my ear. He's just like, we're going to be all over this. We got to get this done. We got to get that done.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that sometimes I'm leery with numbers and finances, right? Because I don't want to know or forget a tax code or this or that and stuff like that. Now, we got to remember also it is open AI, right? So
Yeah,
uploading our stuff.
we can talk about privacy because I think it's important. So
Yeah.
OpenAI is they're not a public company. They're a private company. So if you are thinking about putting any sort of IP, intellectual property, into OpenAI, it no longer becomes intellectual property. They have access to view that
Right.
information.
And
Whether they
we're giving them that.
whether they say they do or not, whether they say they look at it or not, they
Yeah.
still have access to it. The only way to truly safeguard that is to build your own LLM on a local server. And I don't want to get super technical, but like DeepSeek is another one that we've been experimenting with a lot. It's another language learning model that essentially allows you to, I mean, you can download your own AI server onto a Raspberry Pi. It's a computer this
Yeah.
big. You know what I mean? And you can run pretty intense language learning models off of it.
Right.
So now that is a private, that information is stored locally. The history of everything is stored locally. So, you're safe to play through some of these scenarios with that. But yeah, with companies like OpenAI and Grok, if they're private, just be wary and know that your intellectual property is now exposed
Mhm.
to whatever AI they have running through their AI to
Yeah.
say, hey, what's this person doing? Do I need to get flagged? I mean, let's be honest. Like if they're the AI providers, that they have AI looking at what we're doing,
Yeah.
right? They're
What
like,
good
how are
eyes
these
can we
people using
harvest
it?
from all this? Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
So
How many AI girlfriends do we have on our platform today? Like literally,
Yeah.
people are forming relationships with
really.
their AI. Oh my gosh. Have you not seen the meme?
I love
Have
the
you not
memes.
seen the
I
memes?
love the
They're
memes. Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
I love the one where the robot's walking outside
Yeah.
and it's like my ChatGPT taking a break from all my bullshit today.
Yeah. And it's all like stumbling.
He's like taking a walk
like,
in
man,
nature.
yeah.
It's
So
good stuff.
I've been getting a lot of those memes too. It's like me trying to get my ChatGPT to talk. Now make it simpler. Now make it so people can understand.
Yeah.
What am I stupid? Or you can't make me look stupid either.
Yeah.
It's just where is that happy median? And it's just trying to do the best it can to from our prompts to give us a response that we're looking for.
Yeah, I think, and just to talk on that, one of the classes that I teach that I'll probably end up doing a virtual webinar at some point.
Yeah.
And I'll give your listeners like a link to go to if they want to follow this.
Absolutely.
Stuff. But I help people build their own GPTs, so their own custom GPT. And what that means is that it's instructed by you, it's filled with knowledge of you. So I'll give you a good example, like my home group. I had access to a PDF of the ADRE law book. Okay, so it's a 200-page PDF document. It's all the Arizona real estate laws. Well, I upload that to the GPT, to the MHGPT that I made. I uploaded our policies and procedures to the MHGPT. I uploaded our brand standards document. I uploaded our ICA, our independent contractor agreement. All the agreements. I even uploaded the filings for Fathom Realty, right? When they file for the SEC and they file their stock updates and their annual reports. Now, if you go to this MHGPT and you ask it any question that fits within those rule base, it's going to give you a extremely focused response. So they're saying, well, why would I build my own GPT? Why not just use AI out of the box? Well, because AI out of the box doesn't have the rules that I put in there, right? I put in rules and laws and said, this is, if this is this, then that is that, right?
This is your sandbox. Play in this sandbox. These are the limits. Giving it some walls for it to know where it can go and where it cannot.
So I believe that everybody can build their own GPT for different things. So like another GPT example is like my own, I call it the Body Hacker AI app, which is like I'm hacking my own body. So that's where all my blood work goes. It's where all my scans go.
Yeah.
It's where my medical history goes. That's closed. It's to me. I can go there right now and say, hey, what did my last blood test say? And it will
Yeah.
tell you, you know? So I think that the need for building these GPTs, I think everyone should learn how to use it because it's not as difficult as you think. There's no coding required. You're
Right.
just instructing it,
Yeah.
and you're giving it a little bit of knowledge. So for companies, like put your core values in there, put a list of all of your agents, maybe put a list of all your past clients in there, right? Like
Yes.
again, there's a lot of things that you
Absolutely.
can do where it's like it's at your fingertips. So really, as creative as you can be, as curious as you can be, OpenAI is going to have a way to kind of peak that even more, right?
Right.
To
Right.
lean into that even more and to get more of that from you.
Yeah. So I have a curious question. I keep forgetting what Elon Musk. He's got the
Neuralink.
Neuralink.
Yeah, let's
So
talk
AI
about
and
that.
Neuralink. What do you think? Is that going to be a bridge? How far away are we from something
I
like
gotta show
that?
you something. I was going to do this, but
Yeah.
let's talk about Neuralink for a second. I love Neuralink, and I'm one of those guys because I'm a serial hobbyist, right? So I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, how can I sign up for that right away?
Exactly.
No, I'm
Exactly.
seriously like just plug me into the matrix. You've
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
you got me. Like obviously I want autonomy, but so Neuralink, I'll give you a very sophisticated answer to that. Elon just posted a video a couple days ago that was the roadmap of what they're building inside of Neuralink. So right now, what Neuralink is, and if you don't know, it's essentially a little chip they put inside, they implant it into the back of your brain,
Right.
and it fires off like synapses and creates new neural pathways. Specifically for right now, his roadmap is number one is reduce human suffering. So people who can't see are able to see.
Yeah.
People who can't move are able to move. People who were completely paralyzed and paraplegic now live a 10 times better life because of this chip.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Right.
Super cool. So phase one is reduce human suffering. Phase two of his plan is enhance human capabilities.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
we're talking
That's
3
where
to
I'm
5
at.
years from now. I'm like enhance human capabilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you want a market analysis in that zip code, like we
Yeah.
said. I don't have to
Get
type
a little
it.
download.
It's
Right.
literally like remember in the Matrix when you
Yes.
plug Neo in and he's
Yeah.
like, I know kung fu.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm like just plug me in.
And there's going to be a lot of people out there like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. Blah, 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 blah.
It's an exciting time.
It is an exciting
We
time.
live in the most exciting time, I believe, right now, and not just on a technology perspective, but like culturally and everything. Like, yes, we could focus on the bad, just in general, holistically,
Right.
and say, oh my God, there's war and there's this and there's that.
Absolutely.
But like, listen, there's always going to be something bad. In my opinion, it's like we have so many tools. Anything you want to be in life, you can be. And there was another video meme about that. ChatGPT has made it possible. If you're in a place in your life where you're like, man, I wish I would have done this. I should have done this career path, right? Or I should have done this, or I want to do that. Ask ChatGPT. It will give you a roadmap. You can literally become anybody that you want to become right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was ever available to people before
No.
the internet,
No.
before AI.
Yeah.
It's like at this point, you just have so much power at your finger. Imagine the human creativity and the advancement that we've had. Now couple that with AI creativity and the enhancement, we're going to continue to exponentially grow in all of this technology.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
love
happening.
it. I love it. We're going to take a real quick break and we'll be right back with you guys.